So today for the bell ringer, some people were getting stuck. When we're doing these, you have to look at every single piece individually. We're taking a rational expression, multiplying it by another rational expression. So we take it each piece one at a time. I draw a big fraction symbol. Nothing can factor out 2x, so I just write it. If I can't factor anything out, then I just write it down. Can I factor something, remember, piece by piece, out of 5x and 15? There's a number that goes into both of them when you divide it evenly. 5, very good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write my 5 on the outside. When you say factor, when you say, oh, I can factor out of 5, find that common number, you write it on the outside, and you divide each one by whatever you wrote, 5, and that gives you what's left over. So when I have 5x divided by 5, I can even put a little note there for myself so I know that. It goes away and I get x. But then what's negative 15 divided by 5? Negative 15 divided by 5. Yeah, negative 3. That's what it means to factor. Factoring means, can I take a number or a letter and divide each one of them by it? I can. I could take a 5 out. Okay, now we're doing that. But look, nothing to factor here. Write it down. Nothing to factor here. Write it down. But remember, you're always multiplying. And like I was told, guess what? When you have something that's the same on the top as you do on the bottom, you can get rid of it. And whatever's left, we can go ahead and write it. So here, look at the operation. It says 2x times 5, which is what? Yeah, I heard it, 10x. On the bottom, look, I just have 8 left over, which is on the bottom. You could stop there. I would accept that, but you also could reduce it a little bit more. How can I simplify 10 and 8? Yeah, I can divide both of them by 2. So I can divide both of them by 2 to help me out. So I'm left with 5x all over. So today, we're practicing some more. And we're not going to really do anything new. There's one step that's new, but it's like not even math. It's just something to write. I get to rewrite something. The rest is just practice, which I want. I want to make sure we had more practice because I saw that you were struggling a little bit because factoring is a hard topic. It always has been since I was in high school. I feel like factoring has always been a hard topic for students. But we have to really understand what we're doing because we're going into Math 098 or going to JDC or moving on to bigger and better things, and we want to make sure you're ready to go. Okay, so that's how you would do that one. Now let's go to the homework. If you did it, then go ahead and quickly check your answers. Let me get it out. Where are you? Where did I put it? I just had it. I'll have to bring it back. Oh my gosh, right here. That's that. Here it is. Okay. All right. Go ahead and check your answers. They were on the board. They were online. If you got somewhere close, you should at least feel a little proud of yourself. I don't care if you're off by an X or maybe you didn't reduce it more. Maybe you left it at 8 over 18. It's okay. At least you're understanding somewhat of the process. If you don't simplify it all the way, it's not the end of the world. If you got to this point, stop. At least you're making progress. At least you got to that point. Don't feel bad if you didn't get all the way to the end. Because remember, we just multiply straight across and then simplify for those ones. Okay, 3 through 6. 5 and 6 were really easy to me because you literally, I factored them all for you. Start crossing them all out. 5 and 6 were easy because I'm like, oh, that's the same as this. Crossing it out. Oh, that's the same. Divide. That's the same. Divide. I did all the factoring for you for those problems. Do you have questions on 1 through 6 that you like really don't understand a part of it that you want me to explain on how I got 21, how I got 8, something like that? Because we will be doing it again today, so don't feel bad. These ones were tough. These ones were tough on the bottom, but I wanted to challenge you. Did I have you do 10? I don't remember. I had you guys skip 10. Okay, so don't look at 10. Huh? You got it right? Good. Yeah, I'm hoping that you would if you tried it. Because you've done factoring before. I mean, I know it's a lot from last semester and also from last year, but it's there somewhere. You learned it at some point. It's been a very long time. Okay? I'm not going to roll this time because I want to make sure that we have a lot of time at the end for your homework. And here's something I'm going to say. What? Yeah, I was not gonna roll at this chapter. I don't think because it's just a really tough chapter. This will be your toughest chapter all year. Okay, it's just because of the algebra. The next chapter is not as bad. The other one is the following one is actually pretty fun because you're learning about things that are very applicable to everyday life. Very interesting topic. So, okay, let's go ahead and get the notes out, which you picked up over there. I'm going to give you guys paper clips eventually or staples to staple it to your purple notes because I didn't have them all ready to go this chapter for the first time this year. Usually I have them all ready to go. So let's go ahead and get our notes out that you picked up from your handouts that look like this. Okay, has anyone ever seen Big Hero 6? Yeah, I got Baymax up here. Did you cry? I cried a little bit too. Oh. Okay, Baymax over here is helping us out. He's going to tell us how to do some of these problems. Now, the only new thing that you are learning today is just one step, and the one step is something that's not even math. It's just to do some rearranging. So, when you guys learned way back when, which I'm not even sure when you learned this, when you learned about dividing fractions, you might have heard the saying keep, change, flip, kind of like KFC, but like the C is before the F. Okay, so keep, change, flip. It becomes multiplication, which is what we did yesterday. But we have to flip it in order to do the actual multiplication. So we're going to keep the first sign, the first fraction, change the division to multiplication, and flip the next sign. So it's just rearranging, and then everything else is what we did yesterday. So let me show you one example, and maybe you're like, okay, that's not that bad. So the very first one that we're going to do, remember, keep, change, flip. It's like KFC, but the C's in the middle. So I'm going to keep the first fraction. I'm just going to rewrite it. I'm going to keep the first fraction, 4x cubed over yz squared. I kept it. Didn't do anything with it. Then I'm going to change to multiplication. Change to multiplication. Now it becomes like a dot, or if you like the cross, because you like the cross for multiplication, you can do that too. And then it says flip. So you're going to flip the fraction. And that is the only new step we are doing today. The rest is everything from yesterday, which I thought was going to be super good because we needed some more practice with yesterday. Because now from this point on, it's exactly what we did yesterday. So we're going to multiply straight across. I think that's the best route to go. When I multiply straight across, you multiply the top and you multiply the bottom. But look, nothing's the same. You see how I have an x and a y and a z? You can't multiply them together because they're not the same. So we just rewrite them. 4x cubed y z all over. Yeah, and look at the bottom. Y times 2 is 2y. I mean, you can't multiply anything together. So we're just going to rewrite it. And I like to go in alphabetical order because it helps me with being able to cross things out. So give you a second to go ahead and write that down. What? No, it's not. I feel like some people really need extra support here, so I want to do it with you, and then the next one you're actually going to do. So, piece by piece. Remember, numbers, letters are the same. So the 4 and the 2 go together because they're numbers. 4 is 4 divided by 2. 2, they're going to go on the top and bottom. Stop, because the 4 is bigger. Now let's look. I have 3 x's on top and 1 on bottom. How many's left and where does it go, on the top or bottom? Good, very 2 on the top. How do we know that? Because 3 minus 1 is 2. Then look at the y's. gone. Okay, if I had the same Z on top as I do on the bottom, they disappear. I have one Z on top and 2 on bottom. How many's left and where does it go? Very good. And you're done. Go ahead and try 2 because they're identical to number 1. Okay, try to follow the same steps that I just did. The first step was to change and then flip. Keep, change, flip. KFC, but the C's in the middle. Keep, change, flip. I'll go over it now. Okay, you did the keep, change, flip. So you went 6x cubed over y squared. I changed it to multiplication, and then I flipped the second fraction. So I have 12y squared all over 2x squared. When I multiply straight across, I get 72 x cubed y squared. Okay, because look, 6 times 12 is 72. X cubed and y, you can't multiply them because they're different. So you just write them out. What's wrong? Yes. You were confused on that? Okay. Okay. Well, let's make sure that we keep working together to try to see if you can do it by the end of the day. Like us work together, as in me and you guys. Okay. So on the bottom, when you multiply straight across in green, so I kind of maybe we'll give you some more visuals. There's nothing to multiply because there's no numbers that I can multiply. So 2's in the bottom. X squared I'm rewriting and y squared I'm rewriting. There's nothing to multiply. The only time you can multiply something is if you have like y times 1. And it'd be y squared. There's 2 of them. But I don't in this situation. It might be the next couple ones might be easier. Now when you reduce it, 72 divided by 2, what is that? 36. Now let's talk about these. If I have 3 x's on top, I'll give you a visual here. I have 2 on bottom. 2 cancel. What's left? Yeah, and where is it? On top. So I have x. Then look. The more we do, the better we get. The more we do, the better we get. So let's keep doing some more. These ones, for some reason, become the hardest ones. I think the other ones are pretty straightforward because once you factor, it's pretty obvious what cancels. Let's do a problem. My first step is to keep, I'm going to keep it. So I'm going to keep, this is my k. I'm going to keep it 8x minus 16 all over 20. Then I'm going to change, that's what the c is, changing to multiplication. And then I'm going to flip, that's my f. I'm going to flip it to 40 over 3x minus 6. From this point forward, we are back to what we did yesterday. From this point forward. Okay, that was the only new step that we had to learn today. Did you guys learn keep, change, flip when you did this at all? Do you remember like that before? I'm sorry about that. It's very unfortunate. You're good at math. Let's get you back good at math. We need to get you back at this. Okay, you were like my go-to, so let's get that back. Well, a couple people are, but you were one. You mean it depends on the topic. You're really good with graphs. Yeah. Okay, here's what I remember I told you yesterday. When you're multiplying, technically this becomes one big fraction. Okay, but we can rewrite it if we want to. We're going to have to eventually. You take it piece by piece. There's 4 pieces technically in this problem. And I'm going to color code them for you. You have to look at all of them and say, bless you, can I factor it all? There are only 2 that I can factor something out. What does that mean? Factoring something out means there's something common that I can divide both of them into. What 2 colors are the ones I'm going to have to factor out of all 4 of them? Yeah. Yellow and green. The yellow one, there's something common I can take out. What can I take out? An 8. Very good. Okay, so my 8's going to come out. So I'm just, remember, yesterday I was hiding all this from you. I want you just to focus on this piece. What's left inside? X minus 2, very good. And here, so a lot of people got confused on that part because what it means to factor is that when you take the 8 out, you're dividing both of them by the 8, not just the 8, you're dividing both of them. A great way to check your answers. 8 times x is 8x. 8 times negative 2 is negative 16. Try to see if you're doing it right. I was told that the purple one remains the same, and that is correct. I can't take, like, I could take a 5 out there, but it's pointless. Okay, so if it's just a number, just write it. Same with this blue one here, this 20. I'm just going to write it. There's nothing to do. Okay? The only thing that I've done right now is to factor the first one. I was told if I were to just look at this green piece here, I can factor. What number can I factor out? What number is common between these two? What number divides into both of them? 3, very good. Again, what it means to, I keep saying it until you are hearing it in your sleep. What it means to factor a set means that I can divide both of these by 3 and it would be in its most simple form. So when I do that, what's left inside? Just 2? X minus 2. From this point, you should be okay because you're just going to be playing the canceling game. Here we go. What cancels? Is there something right in your face? I'm just going to zoom into what's left over. Yeah, we have the x minus 2's are gone. Do you see how I have exactly x minus 2 on top and exactly x minus 2 on the bottom? I take my highlighter and highlight what's left over. 8 times 40, and then 20 times 3. Because now we're just working with numbers. We don't even have letters anymore. What is 8 times 40? What's 8 times 4? Yeah, 320. Good. Why? Because 8 times 4 is 32. That's 0. Right? That's a good trick. 8 times 4 is 32, but then add a 0 to it because it's a 20 or 40. Okay, on the bottom, what's 20 times 3? 2 times 3. 6, and then add the 0, so I have 60. But we're not done though, because some people might have reduced it ahead of time, which is fine, depending on who you are. Get out your calculator, put that in. And press math enter. It's going to do the work for you. Or you can like realize the zeros are going to cancel. I don't know. Let me know what you get. You're going to get a decimal, but then you have to press math, enter, enter. If you have a graphing calculator. What do you get? What's the fraction at the end? 16 over 3. So some people that are pretty like, hey, I could have known something before. Now let me just show you one more thing. So if you like totally was like, okay, that's what I like to do, then I like my calculator, then do that. But for those that like to do things mentally, look, could have been like, oh, I know 40 divided by, let me use a different color. I know 40 divided by 20 is 2. And look, 8 times 2 is 16. So if that's something that you like to do, then do that. It's up to you. Try number 4. Try number 4. It's not exactly the same. Take your time. I'm not asking you to rush. I want you to really try to look at the example and see if you can do at least really well. This piece here in blue, you took a 3 out, you guys were correct. Then you wrote out your 4, so times 4. You wrote out your x because these two can't factor. However, this guy in purple, he can. I can factor out a 2. And I'm left with x minus 3. They're like, oh my god, boom. Oh my god. Okay? Then we multiply what's left over. I only have 3 times 4, which I know is 12, all over 2 times x. Because right here in yellow, that's what's left. But I'm still kind of not done because what's 12 divided by 2? What's 12 divided by 2? It's 6. Is that on top or bottom? Top. A lot of people bring the x with it up, but you can't do that. Okay. I want to do one more on this side and one on the back and call it a day. So I want to give you time to work on your homework. All right, here we go. You ready for this? Okay, this looks weird. Like, it's kind of different. Let me ask you a question before we get started. If I just asked you, what number is technically, don't write 3. What number is technically under 3? 1. Yeah, because 3 divided by 1 is 3. So what technically is under x plus 5? Oh, 1. Okay, so when you're doing this problem, it's the same thing as before. Okay, you're just going to make sure that you have the 1 underneath there. So same thing now, here we go. We're going to keep, so x squared minus 25, we're going to keep it. We're going to change the multiplication, and then we're going to flip the second fraction. And that's why I put it over 1 so that you can flip that. You guys really liked these ones. At least I like these ones. But I have x squared minus 25. What does that factor into when we have different squares? What? I mean, like, if you want to. What's the square root of x squared? What's the square root of 25? Square root of 25? You got it. You can finish it. Yeah, you got it. Okay? Well, that was really sloppy handwriting. I apologize. Times 1, so I don't have to do anything. Okay, so all we did was we factored this piece. That's all we did so far. And 1, I mean, you could write it if you want. You don't have to. Look, do I do anything to either of these? Can I factor anything out of these two? Can I factor anything out of 6x? You're probably not sure. It's probably because it's a no. Can I factor anything out of x plus 5? No. So the only thing that I factored was this. That's everything else stayed the same. But guess what happens? Bye. And I'm left with x minus 5 all over 6x. A really big. Flip it. You have to do one hard one. At least I don't think it's hard, but I think you guys don't think it is either. You just gotta try it. Here we go. Ready for this? I want you guys to have time for your homework. I don't want you to have a lot. There's only 8 questions. There's even that's 6. All right, we keep it. X squared minus 8x plus 7 all over 10x squared. You're keeping it. Then I change it to multiplication, and I flip the fraction. So I have 5x all over x minus 7. Now, you have to look at each piece. I have a lot of colors going on here. I have green, purple, I have yellow, I have blue. Only one of them factors. Only one of them actually can factor. Do you know which one it is? Yeah, the green one. The one that looks ugly. Okay. Remember when we had 3, a trinomial is technically what that's called. Let's just focus on this green piece and go off to the side for a second. Pretend nothing else is here. We're just looking at the green piece. This is when we took a lot of time on this. We said what multiplies to 7, this piece, multiplies to 7, and adds to the middle term, adds to -8. Well, what are the two numbers? The only two numbers that multiply to get 7? 1 and 7. So now we have to go off and be like, hey, but what are my signs going to be to add to get -8? Yeah, -1 and... Well, when you do -1 plus 7, you get negatives. Yeah, -7. Okay, so now I found them. I was going way back when. Well, you kind of remember, at least you remember seeing this. You remember be like, okay, I know I did that in your class. Yeah, hopefully. Okay. So now, does anyone remember how I write that out? How do I write these as factors? Whatever we circle becomes our factor. And then we write everything else out. Here we go, I'm writing it out. 5x is coming down, 10x squared is coming down, and the x minus 7 is coming down. Everything else is coming down. This is the only part that changed. This is the only part that changed. All of this is the same. All of this is the same. Now, what cancels? What cancels? Thank you. Do you notice something else that might cancel? Yeah, the x's and the 5's, but let's actually multiply straight across just so we don't get confused. So I'm actually going to write out what we have left. This is what I have left. I have this piece and this piece all over 10x squared. Now, if you finish there and you're like, I just forgot to reduce it, I would have accepted it. But there is more we can do here. 5 and 10. What's 10 divided by 5? And is that going to be the top or the bottom? Very good. Okay? Remember, you can always do that. You can reverse it. I know it says 5 over 10. If you ask yourself 10 divided by 5, it might be easier. It's 2, it's in the bottom. Now let's look. I have 1x on top and 2 on bottom. How many is left and where is it? Good. And then don't forget about the x minus 1. Okay, this cancel, that cancel, and it reduced. Okay. The time you got 10 minutes left. Okay, let me explain something before you go and do your thing. 1 more minute, not even.